Everton make 4 changes following their defeat to Manchester City. In come Robin Olsen, Michael Keane, Tom Davies and James Rodriguez. Kick-off taken here by Luka Milivojevic as Everton in an 11 are Olsen, Holgate, Mina and Keane. Coleman and Dean as the wing-backs. It's Davies and Gomes through the middle. James Rodriguez back in the side tonight, further forwards. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top alongside Richarlison. Palace's unchanged 11 is Guaita in goal. The back 4 of Ward, Kouyate, Cahill and Van Aanholt. A midfield 4 of Ayew, Milivojevic, Riedewald and Eze, Benteke and Zaha, the 2 up at the top. Roy Hodgson watching on from the touchline. Still lots of speculation over his future. Out of contract at the end of the season and meeting a familiar face in Carlo Ancelotti this evening. The 2 had met in Serie A years ago when Ancelotti was in charge of Parma and Hodgson was at the helm with Inter Milan. A minute into the game and we have a throw in here for Crystal Palace in their defensive third down the left-hand side. It'll be Patrick Van Aanholt to get us back underway. At the moment there's no clear option, so it's just a hopeful launch down the line. Palace do get the first head to it, but then it falls to Yerry Mina. And he'll go back to his goalkeeper, Robin Olsen, still deputising for Jordan Pickford, out with the abdominal injury he picked up just before the international break. Ruled him out of action for England and means that Olsen is getting an extended run in the side. Everton trying to break forward down the left-hand side here, and look at Digne has gone down. He felt that he got an arm across the face. The referee, Kevin Friend, doesn't feel there was too much wrong with that. He was happy for play to continue. Palace look to have now put it into touch so he can receive some treatment. VAR, of course, will take a look at this one. He seems to be clutching at his neck as if he's maybe taken an arm or an elbow across the throat there. It was Ward who was just the wrong side of Digne as he was trying to break on forwards. Dean with the give and go, and as he was looking to get back on the return ball, it's definitely an arm that comes out from Ward, but it's not been deemed to be an infringement. Dean is now back to his feet and chuntering away under his breath, trying to find someone who will listen to his complaints, but there are a few interested as the game will get back underway with Crystal Palace having possession. Back at goalkeeper Vicente Guaita. We're now 3 minutes into this game and yet to see any type of action. Guaita waves his teammates on forward to signal this one is going to be launched long downfield. Not interested in messing around with it at the back at this early stage and potentially offering Everton the opportunity to go and create a chance themselves. Here they come down the right-hand side now, Everton, into James Rodriguez. Turned back and away from goal and drops it into defence with Mina. Everton have seen a little bit more of the possession in the opening stages, but there's not really been much between the two sides. Now across on the left-hand side with Holgate. Good news for Everton tonight is that James Rodriguez is back in the side. It's his first start for Everton in the Premier League since February. Marquee summer signing that has had his injury issues this season. No Alan named in the squad tonight though, which might be a little bit concerning. A key figure in the midfield, and you wonder how they're going to cope without him and Abdoulaye Doucouré this evening. Both have been integral figures to Everton's success this term. A lot of importance on Tom Davies and Andre Gomes to strike up a partnership in the middle third. Ball looped up into the air on the halfway line now, headed away by Mina. Brought down by Ayew J, Eze, who flicks it back into Gyro Riedewald. Jordan Ayew out to the right-hand side with Ward. Ayew will come back infield. The Ghana international exchanges passes with the Dutchman Riedewald. He's become a more important part of this Crystal Palace team over the course of the season. Forwards now to Benteke, who almost breaks into the box. It will though come for Zaha, whose shot is charged down. That'll go behind for a Crystal Palace corner in the first opening of this match at Goodison Park. Just over 5 minutes played. It was really slick play from Palace, zipping the ball around on the edge of the area. Benteke thought he might have been in, but there was a foot out there from Mason Holgate. The rebounded ball fell into the path of Zaha. He took one touch, then pulled the trigger. But Everton defenders in the way to guide it behind for the set piece. Former Queen's Park Rangers wide man Eze E will take the call. Executed by the ensues, and eventually Everton managed to get clear to the halfway line. A miscontrol from Van Aanholt, but that has fallen to Milivojevic, and now he's been robbed of the ball. Richarlison through on goal, cuts it across the target, and it's just behind Calvert-Lewin. He can't get the shot away, and Everton have made a real mess of that one. Well, Richarlison looked as though he was going to pull the trigger, and I think that's what Calvert-Lewin thought as well. He covered it so well that the cutback was hidden from his teammate, and Crystal Palace have been let off the hook there. Calvert-Lewin has been Everton's most potent man this season, but it was just not a great ball to him, really. It was slightly behind him. He tried to swing his leg back to get a shot away, and that's wasteful from Everton. Is that a chance they will rue as this game goes on? Just over 6 minutes played now, and we've had a big chance at both ends. The prodding and probing is over, and the match is firmly up and running. Cahill into midfield with Van Aanholt, who arrows a pass towards Benteke. It's going to go over his head, and too much on it. That will go out for a throw-in by the corner flag in Everton's defensive third. Milivojevic can count himself so lucky as we look back at a replay. You wonder if Richarlison might actually have been offside when he was played in by Gomes anyway. That could potentially be the saving grace for the Toffees, but even still, they should be putting the ball in the back of the net and then asking those questions afterwards. Davies flicks one away now for Everton. It'll come back to the England under-21 international midfielder. Unsuccessful European Championships for Davies and several others. Eze Eze involved in that campaign over the international break just past. Split over 2 separate breaks, with the group stage having been completed now, and England's under-21s going out in dramatic circumstances, losing their first 2 games and then beating Croatia in their final match, but they needed to win by 2 clear goals, and they conceded a late effort against the Croatians, who went through ahead of them. So the fallout of that not looking good for the young Lions, but Everton will certainly hope it's not going to impact Davies too much, and Palace likewise with Eze. Palace win themselves a free kick midway through Everton's half now. Ward is the man on the top of it. Looks for a low ball into the box, and it was too far wide of Zaha and goes all the way through to Olsen. Zaha turns and has a word with his teammate about the delivery. A good start to this game. 9 minutes played, unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Everton with the better of the 2 chances. There has been one at either end. The Toffees just playing it out of their own box now. They are unbeaten in their past 12 Premier League meetings with Crystal Palace. Now, they've not done the league double over the Eagles since 2004-05. Everton coming out to the right-hand side now with Keane. Swings it down the right flank and into the feet of Coleman, but he's dispossessed and muscled off the ball by Van Aanholt. Now Zaha. And that was courted by Everton a couple of transfer windows ago. Did hand in a transfer request, and the Toffees did everything they felt they could to try and sign him, but they just, in the end, weren't willing to meet Palace's valuation for the Ivory Coast international. Ward has it again for Palace, under pressure from Gomes. Manages to just about emerge with possession. And then Milivojevic again with a loose ball. Calvert-Lewin was almost onto it, but we'll go back to Guaita. He clears up into the air. Davies to James. Davies then back into his own half, and he's been caught late there by Benteke. I think he's going to get a talking to here from Kevin Friend. Davies asking whether there's a card to follow, but I think so early on in the match it is just going to be a free kick. We'll have to watch his step, Benteke. It was a little bit unnecessary. It was on the halfway line. Everton weren't going anywhere dangerous. In fact, Davies was going back into his own half just to lay it off to a teammate. That teammate was Mina, who now has the ball out to Holgate. Head up looking for options, and he switches the play to the right-hand side, where Van Aanholt attempted the clearance, but in the process flicks it off Coleman, and now it's James Rodriguez. He opens it up really nicely to Digne on the left. Dink ball in at the near post, and it's through to Guaita. Not quite on the same wavelength as his teammates. They have got into some decent areas, Everton. Very little still to pick between these two sides. Still really waiting for one of these two teams to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. History suggests that it won't be Crystal Palace. They've lost their last 3 visits to Goodison Park, and they could lose 4 consecutive away games against Everton tonight for the first time in their history. A record that they will be desperate to try and avoid, but Everton's home form doesn't fill you with a huge amount of confidence that they are going to be on course for a victory tonight. They have heavily relied on their away results this term. They've lost 7 of their past 11 Premier League home fixtures, and an 8th home defeat of the season for them tonight would equal their most this century. That was set back in 2015-16. Here's Eze E for Palace. Ayew over the halfway line, initially into a bit of space, but now Digne will close off the gap. Ward comes to offer support and flicks down the line for Zaha. Always a willing option. Riedewald thought that he wanted the 1-2. He returned the ball down the line, but Zaha had never made the run. And Holgate can calmly watch it behind for the goal kick. Carlo Ancelotti has been saying all the right things in the build-up to this game. He was brought in by Everton to deliver European football. They're still very much in that position to go and achieve it if they can maintain results over the final weeks of the campaign. Still 10 games left to play for Everton, including tonight's match. Ancelotti has been saying that he's happy with the position they're in, and he feels that Everton fans would have been welcoming the fact that they remain in the fight, not just for top 6, but also still in that conversation for top 4. But he has challenged his players to show bravery and courage in these final weeks of the term. Goal kick now for Crystal Palace. Guaita will take it short out to Kouyate. Ward, that's his pass down the line, blocked by Gomes, and now it's Davies back to Digne. Swivels away to try and find an exit route from the challenge of Ayew, but he's just been muscled off the ball as Digne. He's not had the best start to this game. Might be a foul there for Palace as Eze at his heels clipped, looking to play the ball through to Benteke. Kevin Friend is just going to have a word here. In fact, he's going to pull the card out. Not quite sure what this decision is all about. It's Mina who's going to be shown the card. He wasn't the one that's just made the challenge on Eze E, so it's clearly an incident that Kevin Friend had seen previously. and he's come back to sort out either that or Yerry Mina has overstepped the mark with his verdict on one of the referee's decisions. Lots of reports around today suggesting that Mina will be looking for a move to Serie A come the summer due to a lack of game time, but he starts tonight, and I suppose that will maybe play some part in convincing him that Goodison Park is the place to be. Everton going with 3 central defenders tonight. Let's have a look at this incident with Yerry Mina. Yeah, it was off the ball. It was just prior to Tom Davies' trip on Eze. Mina seemed to pull back Wilfried Zaha. He wasn't in possession of the ball, so Kevin Friend decided that that warranted a booking, and now he's walking that tightrope for 75 minutes of this game. It's not the type of position you want to be in as a central defender. Here's Mason Holgate. Rolls the ball infield to Davies, but he just takes too long on it, and Benteke dispossesses him, works a 1-2 and gets it out to Ayew. It's a nice challenge there by the backtracking Richarlison. In fact, no, it's not. Referee Kevin Friend has given another free kick, and the Everton players are starting to get a little bit annoyed with the referee, feeling that he's given possibly some decisions a little bit softly. Did look as though Richarlison got a flick on the ball there. I think he also probably did catch the man as well. Everton need to be careful that they don't allow this to creep into their mentality and distract from the job at hand, because Crystal Palace have got plenty of tools to hurt them. We'll see what they can do from this free kick. It's headed away by Mina, volleyed back by Van Aanholt. That is well over the crossbar and into the stand behind Robin Olsen. Roy Hodgson has turned back to his bench and is shaking his head, having a chat with Ray Lewington, his assistant. Not too happy. I think that Van Aanholt had a pop there, maybe felt the ball could have been recycled. He's not got a great record in visits to Everton as a manager. Roy Hodgson, he's lost 8 of his 9 Premier League away matches at Goodison Park, only avoiding defeat in Blackburn's goalless draw in September 1998. As Davies switches the ball out to the right-hand side for Coleman. Pass had come back in field to Davies, but it was slightly behind him. James then is unable to control. Gomes will attempt to win it back, but Ayew has been fouled. Palace have themselves another free kick. There's probably a few Everton players now that aren't far off picking up a booking and joining their teammate Yerry Mina in the referee's notepad. Palace have taken the free kick quickly, and it's gone all the way through to Olsen, but I think referee Kevin Friend is saying that they need to retake this one. Again, further frustrating Everton. Four fouls committed by the Toffees to the 1 of Palace. 18.5 minutes played. The instant that saw Yerry Mina pick up a booking doesn't actually go down as a foul either, because it was off the ball as a foul was being committed on a player who did have possession of the ball. So I suppose you can put that down as 5 for Everton, really. Flick over the top now for Palace. Won't quite reach Van Aanholt. It goes back to Olsen. Clears away, and Cahill wins the initial header. Benteke lays off to Zaha. Out to Eze. Zaha has gone on the overlap, but Eze is working a 1-2 with Ayew. He gets the shot away at the near post, save by Olsen. It was really good play by Eze. Had the courage to take it all on himself. Options appeared limited when he was held up on the edge of the box with 2 Everton players ahead of him, but he squeezed a ball into Ayew, who returned it first time back into his path, and Everton now down at the other end. Calvert-Lewin shot saved. Well, we were looking at a replay there of the Crystal Palace chance, bringing you unofficial off-tube studio commentary as the pitches return to the live action. We'll see it now from the replay. It's Holgate who puts a lovely cutting ball in behind the Palace defence. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin will maybe feel he should have done better. He was through one-on-one and he struck the ball straight at the goalkeeper. Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0. This game's had its moments so far. 20 minutes played. James on the ball. Crowded out, has to settle for a throw-in. Zaha getting the final touch in. James takes the throw in quickly and it's worked down the line to Coleman. Creates an angle for a cross now. Deliveries over the head of Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison puts it wide of the angle. He was up nicely on the 6-yard box. And he beats the ground because he knows that was a good chance in the end. Coleman left. Van Aanholt in his wake. He had time to pick the cross. He's just slightly off balance, Richarlison. He's getting a bit of pressure on his back from Ward. And he can't quite get over the top of the ball as it loops behind for the goal kick. But that's two huge chances for Everton in the last minute. Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0. Guaita clears away. Just living a charmed life now is the Crystal Palace goal. Only got one clean sheet in the last 18 Premier League away matches. That came against Arsenal in January, and signs suggest that they might not be picking up a second clean sheet tonight. He can't find a teammate, and Eze will come away with it. Out to Zaha on the left-hand side, who beats Davies and then switches the ball to Benteke. Tries a first-time flick into Riedewald. Across comes Mina. He'll clear as far as Benteke. Forced wide and out of the area to Ayew. Swivels away from goal and lays it back into Kouyate. Playing as a defender this season, but comfortable in midfield and comfortable on the ball too. Van Aanholt to Zaha, 2 for company, laid back to Milivojevic, flicked down the line, and Eze tried to return it into the feet of Van Aanholt, but there was Keane to cut it out. Now Gomes loose with his pass, aiming for Richarlison. It's intercepted by Ward. Then Ayew robbed of it by Gomes. Richarlison played through on goal. Surely this time Everton have to. No, his shot is saved. It'll come back to the Brazilian, and Guaita is down again. Well, how many chances are Everton going to pass up tonight? Crystal Palace have put it on a plate on several occasions. Once more here. This time it's Ayew who's robbed of the ball. Richarlison is clean through on goal. He opens up his body to shoot across to the right-hand corner. Guaita is down to save. The ball came back to Richarlison, but he couldn't get a shot away, and Guaita smothered it at his feet. This game could already be done and dusted for the Toffees. They make that 3, if not 4, big chances that they've had. Richarlison with a couple. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has had 2 as well. But it remains 0-0. Gomes has done a good job of winning the ball in midfield today. He's been the man on a couple of occasions that has stolen it and put Everton into a good position, but his attacking teammates just haven't got him finished off the job. James now. Puts it back to Davies. He'll come deeper to Holgate. Holgate now sprays it to the right-hand side with Coleman. A lovely ball. Delivery comes in. It's brought down by James with the volley, but he gets under it and slices over the bar. It's a lovely bit of control by the Colombian. I'd love to crown his return to the side today with a goal. He plucked it out of the sky, and then under pressure, I think just panics a little bit. And he slices under the ball and balloons it over the bar. They are knocking on this door, Everton. win tonight for the Toffees will put them on to 49 points. That's going to match the tally that they achieved over the course of the 2019-20 season. From there on out, it would be classed as an improvement and steps forward. I don't think it would be seen as a satisfactory campaign necessarily if they don't go on and secure a European spot, considering how they have been in the frame for it for the majority, if not all, of the term. They need to get tonight's job done first, and now they're having to do some defensive work. Ayew forwards, low ball into the box is repelled by Mina. Ayew wins it back off Digne and finds Ward in the process. Milivojevic has almost played it into touch, but Ward will recover it. And then Kouyate's ball forward is deflected out into touch by Richarlison, a Palace throw. 20 minutes remain of the first half. Everton having 4 attempts, 2 on target. Palace with 3 so far and just the 1 on target. That being Eze's at the near post from that left-hand side. Riedewald on the ball for Palace. 2 Eze. Off by Benteke, Zaha chops onto his left foot, will get a low left-footed shot away and it's dragged wide of the right-hand post. Zaha has a moan at one of his teammates, not quite sure what about. Maybe they felt that he could have passed them the ball in that situation. So just seeing some replays of the raft of Everton chances we've had. It's a lovely ball from Mason Holgate to send Calvert-Lewin through for one of them. You have to credit Guaita for staying big for as long as he did. Didn't crumble with the striker coming towards him and was able to make the save. Guaita so far putting himself in a position to be a candidate for man of the match. Palace now forwards with Ward. Infield to the captain Milivojevic. Back through the defensive line and out to the left-hand side with Van Aanholt, who hopelessly clips it forward, and Everton will just step forwards to pick up possession, but then it's cheaply given away by Michael Keane. Zaha was able to get a leg in to intercept, and now it's Ayew. Zaha once again. He's got Holgate for company and he plays the ball off the Everton man, out for a throw. Andre Gomes has gone down for Everton here. That's a reason to be concerned for Everton. Currently unable to call upon the likes of Decore and Alan. Fabian Delph and Bernard also missing. They do have Jean-Philippe Gbamin back on the bench today. He's been absent for so long, but he's in the matchday squad, and you wonder if he might be one that they would turn to. Could feature for the first time since August 2019 after overcoming a serious hamstring and Achilles injury. No, it's going to be Gylfi Sigurdsson, the Icelander, who's going to get the opportunity, I suppose. Bringing Gbamin on. There's still an hour left to play, might be asking a little bit too much of him. Sigurdsson has had plenty of game time this season though, so he will be up to speed, the former Swansea and Tottenham man. Not entirely sure what the issue is for Gomes. He's been helped back up to his feet by the medical staff and will limp his way off the field. Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0. Some big chances in this game, but no goals to show as of yet. So a win for Everton tonight puts them on to 49 points. They actually won't climb up the standings. They'll have a worse goal difference than West Ham in 7th, Liverpool in 6th and Tottenham in 5th, but they will be on level points with that trio. West Ham play later this evening when they travel away to Wolves, so Everton will have games in hand on all of those teams come the end of tonight's round of fixtures. They'll only be 2 points adrift of Chelsea with a game in hand as well, so lots to be playing for the Toffees. If Palace can get the victory tonight, having started the day in 12th, then they will move on to 42 points, level with Leeds in 11th and Arsenal in 10th, but Palace have much worse goal difference than both of those teams, so won't move up any positions. The game is back underway with Sigurdsson on the field. Zaha played down the line by Eze, but the pass was too heavy from the back heel and it's behind for a goal kick. Eze turns around to see 2 or 3 players saying, oh, it was an easier pass. Why didn't you look for me? There's an instant that has taken place off the ball between Davies and Van Aanholt. Van Aanholt had played the ball and he was looking to continue his run. Davies felt that Van Aanholt ran into him, and I think Van Aanholt maybe feels it was the other way round. There was no free kick given. And now there is a handshake between the two to suggest things are maybe forgotten, although I think Van Aanholt has maybe just rejected that, and Davies now doesn't look too pleased. So a goal kick for Everton. Olsen, who has only had 1 save to make so far, plays it short to Mina. Out to Keane. Missed out on a call up to the England squad for the recent international break. Ancelotti feeling that he's got all the qualities required, though, to still make it into Gareth Southgate's squad for Euro 2020 this summer. Punch away here from Guaita as Everton cross into the box, and then a clearance down the line blocked by Sigurdsson into touch. It's been well worked so far as the Spaniard Guaita. Ward takes the throw down the line. It's chested down by Ayew. Rolls his studs over this one and then is fouled as he looked to play the pass. Dean is the man responsible, and he joins his teammate Yerry Mina in the book. Ayew has remained on the floor. I said earlier that the fouls were starting to tot up for Everton. Here's a nasty one from Dean. I wonder if VAR would take a look at this, because the studs come down onto the top of the boot. It's just below the ankle on the boot, so I think that's probably maybe what helps him to escape a red card here. Ayew is back up on his feet, grimacing as he jogs downfield. Kouyate will take the resulting free kick deep inside his own half. It's clipped in towards Ayew, laid off, and Benteke to Riedewald. Eze out to the left-hand side with Van Aanholt. Back to Milivojevic, who plays it first time into Zaha. Finds Benteke in the box. He rolled it through to Ayew, but he miscontrolled, and Everton are able to clear their lines. They've done that really nicely at times tonight, Palace. 2 or 3 quick passes, and Benteke often playing the final one, which is a little flick ball to a third-man runner. Everton have just been able to survive. Just had a pop from outside the box here, but that's blocked by the backside of Holgate. Bounces away for a throw-in, and now James Rodriguez is limping across the field. That was a clash with Zaha, because the two have just exchanged handshakes. Everton will be hoping it's just an impact issue rather than anything more serious. James back in the side today. He's on the ball now. Still slightly limping, and he decided not to play a long ball there. Wonder if that was due to the knock that he's feeling. Works it out short now to the right-hand side for Coleman. Back into the former Real Madrid man. Davies will open it up to the left-hand side. The academy graduate finding Digne. Right-footed delivery in. Calvert-Lewin was close to it, but not close enough as Palace clear. And Ayew is brought down by Sigurdsson. 10 minutes to go of the first half, although we will have some additional time. Suggest at least a couple of minutes. We had the injury to Andre Gomes, which took up a little bit of time, and we have had a fair few stoppages due to all the free kicks that Everton have been giving away. Eze turns back into his own half and comes across the width of the field from left to right. So far across that he eventually lays it off into right back Ward. Now it goes down the left-hand side into Zaha. Shows good trickery to beat his man, then the low crossing cleared by Davies. Only as far as Benteke though, who will shoot. It leaps up into the hands of Olsen. That ball off instead. Holgate for Everton now. To Davies. The play switched out to the Everton right-hand side. James Rodriguez comes infield and finds Richarlison looking to work a 1-2, but Sigurdsson's return ball wasn't quite up to scratch. Everton will have it back through Davies, blindly played in field, and Ayew gets to it before Sigurdsson. And now Milivojevic, robbed of the ball on the halfway line. Both sides guilty of being a little bit sloppy over the last minute. It'll be Digne to come away. Doesn't see much room to manoeuvre, so lays it back into James. He attempts a switch of the play, but plays it straight into Milivojevic. Again, cheaply given away by Everton. We'll see what Palace can do with it this time around. Kouyate. 38 minutes played. Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Benteke miscontrols, and Zaha, I think, was in an offside position, so Everton will restart here from a free kick, which is taken short. And back to Mina. Finds his compatriot James. Richarlison have made a decent run there, but he's been ignored, and instead James goes short to Digne. Davies now returns it to James over the halfway line. Nice clipped ball out to Coleman. Keane is invited forwards and fizzes it into the feet of Calvert-Lewin. Everton keep it alive, dropping it back to James. Coming across the field centrally to Davies, and now Richarlison, who's been fouled there on the edge of the box, and that's a free kick in a good position for Everton. Kouyate didn't need to make that tackle. Richarlison had his back to goal and was actually retreating from the target. Kouyate seemed to think he could just flick a toe in and steal the ball, but he's misjudged it. Now there's an argument going on between a couple of Everton players as to who's going to take this one. Richarlison won the free kick and is holding the ball. He's trying to keep Lucas Digne at literally arm's length. He's pushing his teammate away, I think, to say that he is going to have this one. It does seem to suit a right-footed player. It's left of centre, so it gives the right-footed player the opportunity to get it up and over that wall with a bit of whip. The left footer is always going to be angling it back in towards the goalkeeper, but there's four around it. I think James is doing his level best now to also try and convince Richarlison to maybe hand it over to someone else. So we'll see how this plays out. Sigurdsson, James, Dean and Richarlison are the four there. Richarlison has placed it down, which often means he will be the one to take it. 40 minutes played. James and Dean continue to remain in the vicinity, although Holgate has just gone across and dragged Dean away. He's told James to go and stand on the edge of the box, so it's now down to 2. Sigurdsson is walking away as well, so it is going to be Richarlison. A 5-man Palace wall. Richarlison whips it around the wall and it's wide of the target. And that will mean Luca Dean will say, I told you I should have taken it. It wasn't the worst effort. Tried to catch Guaita, maybe by surprise, by going to that far side, and feel that it had been on target, then maybe it would have beaten him. Lots of pace on it, just lacking the direction. No doubt Dean will be in charge next time around. Ancelotti, watching on from the touchline, is surely going to be plotting out his half-time team talk, and I wonder what that will be comprised of, with Everton having carved out plenty of chances but just having not converted them. It's difficult to know what to say in that situation. They haven't been playing poorly today, but just need to show a little bit more potency in the final third. Coleman will send it forward to Calvert-Lewin. Coming away from goal, led into Davies. And now Holgate. Davies to James, who comes infield and gets away from a couple of Palace players in the process. Into space, finds Richarlison, looking to cut himself across on the edge of the box, laid off to James, who will strike from range, and it flashes wide off the right-hand post. Never looked as though it was heading on target, and the fact he's hit it from left to right with his left foot means that it is never going to bend back towards goal. He couldn't get enough cut across it. Guaita, I think, pulled out of it in the end. He knew that it was going wide. Again, goes down as another chance for the Toffees. Everton have had to score plenty of goals at home this season due to the fact that they've conceded so many at Goodison Park. 22 times they've picked the ball out the back of the net in the league. It's more than in any of the previous 4 seasons. They still have time left to play. That's why they have really struggled to pick up the points at home, and when they have done, they've been doing it by coming out on the right side of a high-scoring game. Luca Dean, field to Sigurdsson, ball was slightly behind him and skews up into the air. Richarlison now going infield. So fouled, and Kevin Friend blows his whistle. So free kick wide on the left-hand side. There's no shooting opportunity here for the Toffees. It's a good chance to get a delivery into the box in these final minutes. Lots of height to aim for as well. Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, Keane, Holgate and Mina are all on the edge of the box. So there's a good 5 to try and pick out there, with Sigurdsson and James, the 2 over the top of it, left and right-footed options. It is James, outswinger, and Richarlison with the header again. It's over the bar. It's not the best chance he's had in this game, but it's by no means the worst. He was onside when the delivery came, and well, you know what? It is actually a really good chance. He's in front of his man. He is just having to arch his back to try and get over the top of it. And again, that's what the issue is, but Everton, so many chances, and you do worry that they're going to be made to pay for not taking them. Header forwards by Holgate. Clearance back downfield by Palace. Mina will turn it away with his head. Benteke laid off to Eze. Zaha has peeled away left-hand side. Eze will find him and go on the overlap. Zaha decides going back into his own half with Kouyate is the best option. That was a risky ball. Played it across the width of the field, and it was almost intercepted by Richarlison, who, had he got that on the halfway line, would have only had green grass between himself and the goalkeeper, Guaita. We're into additional time. 2 added at the end of this first half. Richarlison wide on the left-hand side, level with the edge of the Crystal Palace box. Laid back to Davies. Angles the ball in, but that's too high. Will go all the way through into the hands of Guaita. And the Spaniard is in no hurry to get play restarted. Palace, I think, will be happy enough to get in at the break at 0-0. When you consider the amount of chances they've conceded. They have Guaita to thank largely for the fact that they haven't conceded a goal and are still in this game. We've got just over a minute for Palace to hang on, or maybe even go and score. Here's Zaha taking it on forwards now into Benteke on the edge of the box, but it was right behind the Belgian. Couldn't adjust his feet, and it comes off his heels and almost works as a clearance away from goal. Everton pick it up with Coleman down the line to James. We are now into the final minute of the 2 additional. Is there one final chance for Everton? Digne looks for a crossfield ball. It's not got the legs to find Calvert-Lewin. Palace head forwards to Eze. Down the line for Zaha. Eze was fouled as he played the ball, but passage of play can continue, and Zaha has now been nudged off the ball by Sigurdsson. With just seconds left of the 2 additional, I think this is going to be the final action of the half. A Palace free kick. Pretty much on the centre circle, just beyond it. Bang centre in terms of the width of the field. So not much of a great angle for delivery. Players seem to be congregating out to the right-hand side, so it's as though that's where this ball will be lofted to, and then they'll look for some sort of a flick down in the box. Kouyate is the target, but it'll go beyond him, and that should bring us to the end of this first half as Everton clear away and Kevin Friend toots his whistle. At half-time, it's Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Olsen. It's goalless. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Olsen. It's goalless. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Eze after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. It's goalless at half-time between Everton and Crystal Palace, but I'm not entirely sure how. Everton have had some fantastic opportunities. Palace guilty on several occasions of giving away possession in their own half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison have both had clear sights at goal, but Vicente Guaita has been there to deny them. Richarlison's had a couple of headers go over the bar as well. Palace's best chance fell to Ayew J after a neat 1-2, but his low shot was saved by Robin Olsen. Well, we're all set to get back underway for the second half in this first of two Premier League games on Monday evening. It's Everton who get us rolling for the second period. Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0. The Toffees having the better of proceedings in that first 45. Richarlison having 4 shots, 1 on target, and failing to convert any of them. Calvert-Lewin also had a really good chance when he was through one-on-one, but Guaita was able to stand up and make the save. Palace restricted really to a few pot shots from range, and had one good opportunity that fell to Ayew J, his effort saved by Olsen. An early free kick here for Everton, and it's swung in by James, but straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Not great from the Colombian. Palace will look to come away immediately with possession down the right hand side. They've been stopped by Luca Dean. I'll take you through the 11s in just a moment. In fact, I should be able to do that now as Palace go back to their goalkeeper, Guaita. So Everton are Olsen, Holgate, Mina and Keane, Coleman, Davies, Sigurdsson, who came on to replace the injured Gomes in the first half, Dean, James, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. Palace go with Guaita, Ward, Kouyate, Cahill and Van Aanholt. A midfield of Ayew, Milivojevic, Riedewald and Eze E. Two up at the top in Zaha and Benteke. Milivojevic battling for possession deep inside his own half, but he's lost this fight. It'll go into the box from Everton. I think Richarlison left that one thinking James was coming in behind, but he wasn't quite close enough. Palace can play their way out. Zaha falls back into his own half and then gets away from Davies momentarily. Laid into Ward. So lots of the ball down that right hand side in the first period. Tries a pass into Benteke, but Everton will intercept. It's the Toffees' turn to try and venture on forwards now with their captain Seamus Coleman. Keane looks for the switch of play, but that's chested down by Ward calmly into the path of Kouyate. Guaita will clear away. And now Davies has been outskilled by Zaha, who swivels away and comes out to the left-hand side with Eze. Zaha once again rolled into the box this time, but Everton are there to stand firm and clear their lines. All the stats suggested we would have goals in this one. Everton struggled to keep clean sheets at home, and Palace likewise on the road find it hard to keep teams out. It hasn't quite played out that way just yet. Zaha trying to change it now, coming infield. Works a 1-2, swivels edge of the box. Richarlison comes and gets a crucial challenge in. Zaha feels he was fouled, but Kevin Friend actually deems it was Richarlison who was fouled on the edge of his own area. Look, the right decision to me. Zaha with a Marseille turn, and he was just losing his balance there as Richarlison came and got stuck in. Lent on Zaha, but didn't do enough to warrant a foul, and as Richarlison came away from the situation, his legs were just caught by Zaha. So down the line Everton go now. Into Sigurdsson, who swings a teasing ball in. Calvert-Lewin was alive to it, but Palace will clear first. James tried to guide it out to the right hand side, but he misjudged the flight of the ball, and now it's Palace who break with Zaha. He's got four around him. Finds a neat ball to Benteke, who will roll it down the line for Ayew, now on the edge of the Everton box, into the area with Benteke, who back to goal sends it out to Ayew once more, and he drops it off into Ward. Looks for the delivery into the box. It's blocked by the legs of an Everton player. Comes back into the area though, and Riedewald lays it off for Van Aanholt, out wide for Zaha, trying to create the angle for a shot. It wasn't on. Instead he rolls it to Van Aanholt, whose shot is wildly wide of the target. Eze felt that he might have been fouled in the box by Holgate and was asking about a potential penalty, but there's no doubt when you look at the direction of that ball that Holgate gets all of it. Might well have been a bit of a connection afterwards with Eze, but that matters little because he'd won the ball cleanly, and he certainly wasn't out of control or reckless in any way. Mina will guide one out to the right hand side onto the chest of Coleman, flicked infield for James. His pass there was just loose towards Calvert-Lewin. Maybe does just need a few games to get back up to full speed, James. He's looked okay at times tonight, but certainly hasn't been anywhere near the sort of standards he was setting at the start of the season. Van Aanholt to Eze. Benteke laid off for Eze once again. Now Van Aanholt in the box, and Coleman is back with him stride for stride. Does really well to get the foot in, prevent the cross and concede the corner. Might be getting on in years, Coleman, but he reads the game so well. Van Aanholt, you feel, has probably got the pace, but the Republic of Ireland man managed to get back into the right position just to get that crucial touch in. It will be Eze to take the corner. He works it short to the edge of the box with Zaha. Everton aren't going to allow him an easy shot at goal. Actually force Palace back to the halfway line here. Ward will arrow it back out to Eze. Nicely controlled on the knee, but then he just lets it get away from him, and Coleman can steal in and clear. Retrieved by Kouyate this time, just over the halfway line. Milivojevic has dropped in behind him to allow Kouyate to go and take it on forward should he choose to. He did attempt that, but seemed to lose his footing, so has to drop it off into defence, and Palace will try a different angle of approach now through Eze down the left. It's been lots of good movement from Palace tonight, some nice fluidity between midfield and attack, but Everton have kept a pretty solid defensive shape to their credit. They've stayed with the runners and haven't allowed it to cloud their judgment too much. And now they can mount an attack with Richarlison on the left. He's got Dean in support. The Frenchman can deliver the ball. Calvert-Lewin won't get there, but it'll fall to Sigurdsson. Shot from the edge of the box. It's deflected. It'll go behind for the corner. Well, Kouyate had thrown himself to the floor. Guaita was just behind him. I think it was the defender rather than the goalkeeper that got the touch in. There's a complaint from Palace that Cahill had been fouled by Calvert-Lewin, but nothing going there. In fact, it might well have been Cahill who even got the block in. He'd thrown himself to the floor in front of Kouyate. He was goal bound. Either way, a Palace player got his body on the line and has kept the scoreline to 0. What will come from this set piece with so much height in this Everton side? Saying that though, there's a few giants in the Palace team tonight as well. Milivojevic, one of them, has just been called over by referee Kevin Friend for a word here, but the likes of Kouyate, Cahill and Ward have also got a fair bit of height about them. Benteke, another, who is useful in both boxes aerially. Kevin Friend's chat with Milivojevic is now over. And we can finally get back underway with the corner kick. James to deliver, the in-swinger from the right. It's lofted nicely. Richarlison with the head, he's put it well wide. Again, he should be doing better, it's just not his night. When will it fall for Everton? You just wonder if Mina has maybe distracted Richarlison there. Mina jumped up in front of Richarlison, he didn't get the ball. Richarlison about a yard or two in behind him, did make contact, but it just sort of glanced off the forehead. It went horribly wide of the target. 10 minutes gone in this second half. I already feel like a lot has taken place in that short time frame. But no goals. The ball is in the hands of Everton goalkeeper Robin Olsen. He'll bowl it out towards the right-hand side with Michael Keane. And now Davies. Across to Holgate on the halfway line. Looks for the long ball down the line, but it's too deep for both Richarlison and Digne. And will be, I believe, a Crystal Palace throw-in here down by the corner flag. It didn't quite have the legs on it to go all the way for a goal kick. He's played some nice passes out of defence tonight. Mason Holgate, but this one does. And now Coleman. James switches the angle of approach across to the left-hand side. And now Digne is into the box. Finds Sigurdsson, his shot there saved, and Calvert-Lewin can't get the pieces. Coleman will lay it off, and James there does have the goal. Gets Everton ahead on his return to the side tonight. And the Toffees take the lead at Goodison Park. Their play has deserved it. They've created so much this evening. And finally that pressure has told. James Rodriguez with a right-footed finish in at the near post. Guaita couldn't get down quick enough. It is Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. A really slick move. There's so many players involved. Digne with the ball. It was Sigurdsson who prodded it towards the target. The save was just out the reach of Calvert-Lewin. And Coleman there to keep it alive at the byline. The awareness to lay it off to James. And he just caresses it home inside the near post. And Carlo Ancelotti will be delighted. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. James Rodriguez back in the side today, making his first appearance for Everton since February, and he's got himself on the score sheet. Everton have been the better of the two sides throughout this game. They've created a plethora of chances that they've passed up time and time again, but this one is slotted home really cutely. A curling right-footed effort from James. And even started on the left with Lucas Digne. He put a low ball into the box. Sigurdsson prodded it goal bound. That was saved by Guaita. The rebound was just out the reach of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But it eventually came into Seamus Coleman, who was able to cut it back from the byline. And he found James, who did the rest, applying the finishing touch. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. Well, now we see what sort of response Crystal Palace have got in this game. I said before that they tend to concede on the road. Only one clean sheet on their travels this season in the league. That came at Arsenal back in January, and there is no clean sheet for them today as Everton finally edge their noses out in front, and they might have a second here. Calvert-Lewin with the shot. Guaita will make the save from almost point blank range. He thought that Calvert-Lewin would finally get himself on the score sheet tonight, but no such case, as Crystal Palace once more are able to thank their goalkeeper, Vicente Guaita. It was James with the pass out 7 yards out on his right foot. He just puts it down the middle and straight at Guaita. Really needs to be finding the corner there. I know about his goal scoring abilities. Certainly this season he's shown plenty of that. He's off on the goal scoring charts for England over the international break as well. And it's just not quite happened for him tonight. Two chances, almost identical really, where Guaita has just stayed big and made himself an obstacle, and Calvert-Lewin hasn't been able to find a way past it or round it. So Everton with the advantage and possession as they work it forward to James. Switch of play to Digne, who brings it down nicely and rolls it infield under pressure from Ward. Davies comes back out to the left-hand side and beats one. Can't quite get away from the second. And Kouyate will clear Palace's lines. Headed infield by Holgate, but he only finds Eze in the process. Worked out to Zaha, and he's judged to have handled there. Looks a little bit harsh. The ball might well have been played up onto his arm rather than the other way round, but Kevin Friend gives the free kick nonetheless. Everton 1, Crystal Palace. Commentary of this clash. I wonder if Roy Hodgson might think about turning to his bench. Roy Hodgson, rather Carlo Ancelotti, might also be considering a change as Palace win a free kick on the halfway line. Look at the reserves today for both sides, and Everton have got Broadhead, Gabamin, Godfrey, John, King and Kunku, Tyra, Virginia in backup. Palace have got Batshuayi, Butland, Dan, Hannam, Kelly, Mateta, Mitchell, Schlupp and Townsend. So Eze has been fouled now, I believe, out on the left-hand side. Calvert-Lewin thought he'd seen enough of the ball there to get a toe in. He did seem to get the ball, but I think maybe he had to come through the man to do that. So Palace with a free kick in Everton territory. It's only midway through the half, and Van Aanholt is going to be the man to deliver it. It's lofted to the edge of the box, falls inside the area, but Richarlison clears. And pumped back by Milivojevic. It's a nice touch there by Benteke. He almost managed to turn his man, but now it's played out wide to Eze, who will have a go. And Olsen, I think, saw that one late. He got hands to it and parried. Everton clear their lines, and Richarlison will come out with it. It'll be interesting to see the replay there, because you felt Olsen should have comfortably had it, but he seemed to react really late. Threw two arms up in the air, and it sort of came off the forearm and awkwardly bounced away from the target. Still deputising for Jordan Pickford, and not the number one, of course, for Everton. I suppose he kept the ball out from the goal, and that's the main thing in that situation. Yet to see a replay as Palace have possession just on the halfway line at the moment. Riedewald back into Ward. Doesn't see a simple route forward, so it's dropped all the way off to goalkeeper Guaita. And now Milivojevic goes out to the right hand side with Kouyate. Riedewald to Milivojevic with the short sleeves and gloves on tonight. Sigurdsson a little bit short there, and that means that Palace can get a foot in, and they'll be out for a throw in. Here we get a chance now to look at this Eze chance. He's wide left of the box and he whips it across goal. There's not a huge crowd of bodies there. It isn't exactly clear why Olsen took a while to bring his arms up to make the save. 12 attempts for Everton now, 8 for Palace, 5 on target for the Toffees and just 2 on target for Palace, both of those incidentally via Eze. One in the first half and that one just a moment ago in this second. Throwing for Everton down the left hand side. It's gone back into touch and now will be a Palace throw. In front of a number of substitutes out there warming up. They all look to be Everton players. In fact, a couple of Palace players have now just headed down the line as well. We are at that point in the game where managers do tend to look towards the benches, especially with goals in the match now as well. There's even more reason as Davies has given it away, and Palace are breaking forwards with Zaha on the edge of the Everton box. Creates the angle for the shot, but it's saved by Olsen. I think he went for a dink there rather than power. Zaha, he was coming away from goal onto his left foot. Not quite sure what Davies thought he was doing there. He tried to play a 1-2 with James, who had ended up on the floor. And Zaha, no, he did go for power, but it scooped up off the legs of a defender. It took the power off the shot and made it a more comfortable save for Olsen. And Everton doing what Palace were guilty of in the first half and toying around with it in and around their own half. When that happens, it leaves you open and exposed, extremely vulnerable to the counter. Zaha finds Cahill. And Milivojevic coming across the field to the right-hand side with Ward. Ayew can turn on it, gets the shot away, and Olsen will save, falling to his left-hand side. Good play by Ayew. Surrounded by a few blue shirts, but just managed to wriggle away from them and create himself enough of an angle and space to pull the trigger. As I said before, as it stands, Everton will move on to 49 points. They won't move up the table, they'll stay in 8th, but they'll be level on points with West Ham, Liverpool and Tottenham, having played the same amount of games as West Ham, but the Hammers are in action later this evening. You can also hear that game on this service, Wolves against West Ham, following this match. So by the end of tonight, Everton will have a game in hand on those 3 teams ahead of them, West Ham, Liverpool and Tottenham. They'll be on level points with them, in a great position to press on for a top 6 finish. They'll only be 2 adrift of Chelsea rather, as well, with a game in hand on the Blues, and Chelsea sitting 4th, so the top 4 is still very much within their reach. Keane forwards now to Calvert-Lewin. Drops into his own half and finds Mina. It's all about game management now for Everton. There's still just over 20 minutes to go. Another goal would give them breathing space, but what they can't afford to do is overcommit and leave themselves open. They have to be controlling in possession and patient. As Palace looks set to make a change, Jeff Schlupp makes his way over the advertising hoardings and gets some last-minute instructions. It's going to be Jairo Riedewald to leave the field of play. So it might mean a bit of a change in shape, this, because they're certainly not the same type of player. Riedewald a central midfielder and Schlupp either a left-back or a left-sided player, certainly a wide player. Looks as though Eze might have gone centrally. Zaha picks it up on the left-hand side. Van Aanholt will bomb on past him, but Zaha's gone infield. He's turned down the line now to Van Aanholt, who might have a pop in. No, he looked for the cross. It's blocked back into his path. Works across the face of goal, and there's no one there. Comes all the way out to Richarlison, and now Everton will look to hit on the counter. Forwards to Calvert-Lewin. Kouyate has got the foot in, and that will go off the side rather, for a throw. It's a decent break that for Palace. You just thought for a moment that Van Aanholt might pull the trigger. Mina came across and was alert to the potential cutback. Everton get us back underway from the throw-in. Keane to Coleman. Now James. Davies tangled up with Zaha. Looks as though it's going to be a Palace free kick here. Tom Davies felt the decision might well have gone his way. Zaha has got up with a smile on his face as Palace take the free kick quickly and short. Attempt to cross is blocked behind for a corner. Michael Keane coming out to meet the delivery, and Jeff Schlupp's first involvement in the game is to win his side the set piece. Third corner of the match for Palace. Taken short, swung deep to the far post, it's gone behind. It was inches away from the head of Benteke. As a look at the referee, I think he maybe felt that he'd just got a bit of a nudge in the back. "70 minutes played. Everton on track to return to winning ways after successive losses. Maybe this could be a turning point for them on home soil as well. Having struggled so much at Goodison Park this season, they're not the only side to have struggled at home. The absence of fans does seem to have had a major impact. Everton have had fans in Goodison Park at one point this season when they managed to get a victory over Chelsea, and it appeared that on that day the fans played a role, helping them over the line to all 3 points. Still hoping that fans will be back before the end of the season. Everton will hope that's the case, to maybe just give them one last push over the line in their hopes to secure a European berth. And they need to get through tonight's encounter first to stay on track. James will work the ball out to the left-hand side with Digne. He's got Richarlison to his left. Finds the Brazilian, but his pass in field is deflected all the way back into Everton's defensive third. It's now with the goalkeeper Olsen, who can find a simple ball out to James. Everton again go to that left-hand side, this time with Digne. And now Davies. Back to Keane and Coleman. Calvert-Lewin has pulled wide to offer his support, but then ran offside, so Coleman has to go back to Keane again. Sigurdsson exchanges passes with Digne, and Mina switches the play but just sells Coleman short. Van Aanholt got there with the head, but in the process could only knock it down to Coleman, and he's carried on forwards, tries to flick it into the box. He didn't pull off the pass that he wanted to, but it almost fell for Sigurdsson. Palace clear. Van Aanholt brings a bit of calm to proceedings, slows it down on the left-hand side. Palace do need to show urgency, but it's not quite Hail Mary time just yet, only a goal down. Still 16 and a half minutes to play. Cahill inside his own half, has time on the ball. The ex-Chelsea and Bolton man rolls it across to Van Aanholt, who in turn picks out Milivojevic. Now Eze, he is playing as a central midfielder, there's no doubt about that. I wonder if that is the most effective change that Roy Hodgson could have made, because Eze has been really threatening down the left-hand side. He's had Palace's two best chances, and now he's playing as a central midfielder where they're unlikely to get the best of him. Guaita picks up possession just outside his own box, and the captain Milivojevic takes control of the situation now. Cahill, Van Aanholt, Cahill once more. Van Aanholt goes infield now to Milivojevic, and Everton are keeping a nice shape. They're being disciplined enough to stop Palace from finding a great deal of space and room to play in, although as we say that, Eze has just beaten a man and opened it up. Goes out to Zaha on the left. He attempts a left-footed cross, and Keane is there again to put it behind for a corner. Everton have dealt with situations like that time and time again this evening. It has been a pretty good performance from Everton on the whole. So we're going to see Seamus Coleman come off here and Ben Godfrey come on. I've seen Godfrey play at right back, right wing back, centre back and left back this season. He's played all over the defensive line. You just feel Coleman's ageing legs are being taken off here as a precaution to allow the fresher Godfrey on to deal with the likes of Zaha and Schlupp and others that will come out into these wide areas. His first job is to help out defending a corner. He's taken up position just beyond the near post. Eze will deliver. It's headed up by Everton, not quite away. Davies will help it further clear, but only as far as Eze. Goes infield, trying to get away from a couple of players, but doesn't manage to do that. Everton clear, and Richarlison will chase here, puts Ward under pressure, he gets the ball away. He was losing his balance there. You could feel the breath of Richarlison down the back of his neck, and just how he panicked slightly. Palace on the halfway line with Van Aanholt. Now Eze out wide to Zaha. A couple of step overs as he tries to get away from Godfrey, and the low ball is blocked at the near post. And that's introduction to the game for Godfrey. Have to be up to speed immediately when you've got someone like Zaha running at you, and he was beating Godfrey, needed his teammates to get him off the hook. I think we might be about to see the third and final change here for Palace. Benteke seems to be heading to the touchline. It's going to be Jean-Philippe Mateta to come on, the January arrival from Mainz. Will look to be Palace's saviour in the final stages. Just under 13 minutes left to play now as Tom Davies and Gary Cahill have clashed. Both have stayed. Kevin Friend. Looks like a clash of feet, to be honest. We'll see it again now. Yeah, it'll be an Everton free kick, I think. Davies seemed to be in possession of the ball, and Cahill had come from the side, although he did seem to get some of the ball. I've seen those types of incidents a couple of times tonight where the ball has been won, but the tackle has been made, I suppose, from a slightly unorthodox angle. Everton are going to make their third and final change now. James Rodriguez back in the side today. First appearance since February, and he's seen a good 75 minutes. And another returnee for Everton tonight, Jean-Philippe Gabamin. He's going to be the one to replace him. Everton fans might well have forgotten that he was a member of their squad. He's scarcely had any game time. There's no surprise there's a big wide grin on his face as he steps onto a playing field. Hamstring and Achilles injuries have been the big issues for him, restricting his game time majorly. Mina will roll the ball back to his goalkeeper Olsen. So this is it now for the closing stages. Both sides have made all three substitutions. Everton having to make one in the first half due to injury, with Andre Gomes going off. It'll be interesting to see what the fallout of that is, with Decore and Alan both not in the matchday squad tonight as well. It means that his midfield options are starting to become a little bit thin on the ground for Ancelotti, if Gomes is out for any period of time. He did walk off under his own steam, which you might read into as a bit of a positive. Palace with possession inside their own half. Again, Everton keeping a solid shape, not allowing Palace the room to manoeuvre in. And Sigurdsson will look to break now. Attempts to roll the ball in behind the Palace defence. Calvert-Lewin had made the run, but across was Cahill, sliding to put it into touch for a throw. Well read by the veteran centre-back. There's several players, along with Hodgson, that's out of contract this summer. Lots of work to be done by the Eagles in terms of sorting out playing and coaching personnel. Whether they're going to go and steer themselves in a new direction or not. Chance here for Richarlison, and it's over the bar. I think Guaita made the save. There's a nothing ball really. Dominic Calvert-Lewin crossed and it went too deep. Dean played it in first time, and Richarlison strikes it across his body. It's not a clean strike, it's into the ground and bouncing up, rising. And Guaita, not for the first time tonight, makes an incredible save. That might well just be the best of them. He's kept his side in this match. If it wasn't for him, they'd be 4 or 5 down. The corner comes in, Palace will head away. Gbamin will go and recover it. Davies then puts it down the line to Richarlison. He's down by the corner flag and wins Everton a corner kick. It looks as though it should have been a corner. I wonder if they might have given this as a throw-in from the look on his face. He's a little bit frustrated there. He did point for the set piece, but yeah, I think Digne seems to be going out to put the ball in his hands here. So Everton's still in a good position though. This is the area of the field they want to be in at this stage. Digne will loop the throw into the box. Calvert-Lewin controlled, back to goal. Tries to lay it off towards Gbamin, but Palace will come away with it. Interception from Digne. And then there's a battle between 2 or 3 players for control of the ball. Ownership of it eventually goes to Palace. And Eze on the halfway line. Is it back into Van Aanholt? We've got 8 minutes remaining of regulation time. We're going to have at least 3 minutes of additional. Possibly a little bit more. We have had stoppages for injuries in the second half, as well as 5 substitutions and a goal. So ample time for Palace to go and find an equaliser. They do it soon enough, maybe even find a winner, but let's not get carried away. On the flip side, more than enough time for Everton to go and grab themselves a second and likely with that kill off this game and enhance the goal difference, which is something they need at the moment. A shot here from Schlupp is wide. Just found himself inside the Everton box, and a snapshot really from the substitute. Left-footed across his body, across the face of goal. Oh, was being dragged wide there from the former Leicester man. Olsen was comfortable and never made an attempt to get down for that. Everton won't want to be affording too many chances like that to Palace in the closing stages. Palace have just made their 3rd change now, with Ayew going off and Batshuayi coming on. I was mistaken before when I thought they'd made all 3. They have now made their last change of the game. Ball forwards for Palace here, and it's just gone beyond Batshuayi and through to Olsen. There are a few crossed words between Batshuayi and Hodgson over the last week or so. Batshuayi, having scored on international duty for Belgium, was saying in an interview, as often is the case when players are frustrated and going away on international breaks, they maybe have a bit of a pop at their club or manager, and he was saying it was nice to have the trust of Belgian boss Roberto Martinez, and said that's something he doesn't have at club level at the moment, on loan of course at Palace from Chelsea. Hodgson has responded by saying he does have trust in Batshuayi, but he's just not been putting the performances in. So this is the situation they find themselves in at the moment. His second spell on loan at Selhurst Park hasn't worked out too well for him this season. I expect he's probably not going to have much of a looking back at Chelsea next term, unless he does something extraordinary, maybe at the European Championships with Belgium over the summer, and then impresses Thomas Tuchel during pre-season. Lots of talk that Chelsea are going to bring in another striker, so it's likely to mean Batshuayi might be sold on. Cahill on the halfway line rolls a simple ball 10 yards across to Kouyate, and Milivojevic seeking Mateta. Everton will clear, and Calvert-Lewin then loses it on the halfway line. It's the final 5 minutes, unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. Zaha on the halfway line, he's got Godfrey just in front of him, and roll it infield to Milivojevic to escape the tackle. Now into the box, and a big chance here for Batshuayi, gets his shot away, and Crystal Palace have got themselves an equaliser. He has a look to the touchline, but the flag has stayed down, and well, that is one way to win the trust of your manager. Michy Batshuayi, only minutes after coming off the bench, has got himself on the score sheet. Everton's backline has been breached. It is Everton 1, Crystal Palace 1. He is onside as we look back at the replays. And Crystal Palace look as though they're going to be taking a point away from Goodison Park. Right in the final minutes of this game, Crystal Palace, who have earned a reputation for conceding late in games this season, have gone and scored. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 1. And Michy Batshuayi, who claimed he didn't have the trust of his club manager, Roy Hodgson, during the international break, has come off the bench to try and earn that trust now. He combines with fellow substitute Jeff Schlupp as he's played into the box. The Belgium international keeps his composure. He slots home left-footed beyond Robin Olsen. Everton's backline, which has been so strong over the course of this game, has finally been breached. It's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 1. Well, time is very much against Everton now to go and grab themselves a second goal and what would be a winner, you'd imagine. Michy Batshuayi might well have just done his parent club Chelsea a favour in the race for European places by denying Everton all 3 points at Goodison Park. A torrid run of failing to win matches on home soil looks as though it's set to continue. Unless they can come up with something and produce the goods in these final stages.